Okay, so starting a new leadership role, it's probably one of the most high-stakes moments in your entire career, right? On one hand, you've got this massive opportunity. But on the other, you are incredibly vulnerable. Seriously, the moves you make in this first few months can literally define your entire time there. So, how do you nail this critical period? Well, we're about to break down the roadmap, and it's all based on Michael Watkins' incredible book, The First 90 Days.
Wow. I mean, that quote really just sets the stage, doesn't it? There's this intense, unspoken deadline. 90 days. That's 3 months to establish yourself, to build credibility, and to create some real momentum. It is a full-on sprint, not a marathon. And you gotta remember, that clock starts ticking the second you accept the job.
So what is the actual goal of this 90-day sprint? It's all about reaching what Watkins calls the break-even point. Think about it like this. When you first start, you're a net consumer. You're taking a salary, you're using up resources, and you're taking your team's valuable time just to get up to speed. The break-even point is that magic moment when the scales finally tip and you become a net contributor of value. Your #1 mission is to get to that point as fast as humanly possible.
But here's the stark reality. When a bunch of CEOs were asked how long it actually takes a new manager to hit that break-even point, the average answer, well, it wasn't 90 days, it was 6.2 months. That is more than double the time you're expected to prove yourself. This dangerous gap between what's expected and what's really happening, that's exactly where careers go to die. So how do we close that gap?
All right, Section 1. First, promote yourself. Now, this first step is completely counterintuitive. It's not about sending some big announcement or making a grand speech. Nope, it's about an internal mental shift. You have to consciously let go of your old job to really, fully embrace the demands of the new one.
And this right here, this is the single biggest trap new leaders fall into. Just look at the cautionary tale of Douglas Ivester at Coca-Cola. The guy was a legendary COO, famous for his incredible attention to detail. But when he became CEO, he just couldn't let go of that identity. He kept acting like a super COO, getting stuck in the weeds, micromanaging details, instead of stepping up to be the visionary leader the job demanded. His greatest strength literally became his fatal flaw.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. What got you here, you can see it there on the left, your deep expertise, your direct control, being the go-to person for every little problem. That is not what's going to get you there. Your new role, over on the right, it demands a much broader, strategic view. It's way less about you making every call and way more about leading through influence. It's about moving from solving technical problems to navigating the really complex world of culture and politics. You have to let go to level up. Okay, so once you've made that mental break from the old job, what's next? Your new job is to climb the learning curve faster than anyone thinks is possible. And look, this isn't about just passively sitting through orientation meetings. This has to be a strategic, super focused activity. But while you're learning, you have to fight this thing that Watkins calls the action imperative. You know that voice in your head, the one that's just screaming, "Do something, make your mark right now." Yeah, that's the one. But acting too soon, before you really get the lay of the land, it is a recipe for disaster. It creates this vicious cycle. You make a bad call, your credibility takes a nosedive, and then people are less willing to share information with you, which of course leads to, you guessed it, another bad call. So instead of jumping the gun, you need to be systematic. Just imagine sitting down with each of your direct reports and asking them these 5 simple questions. Not only will you gather incredibly valuable insights super quickly, but by comparing everyone's answers, you'll start to see where the team is aligned, and more importantly, where they're not. And that last question, if you were me, what would you focus on? It's absolute genius. It instantly turns people from potential critics into your trusted advisors.
All right, as you're soaking up all this incredible information, the next crucial step is to get this one thing straight. There is no one-size-fits-all leadership playbook. Your strategy has to be tailored to the specific situation you've just walked into. And this is the framework you need for that diagnosis, the STARS model. It breaks down pretty much every business situation into one of 4 types. Are you in a startup, basically building from scratch? A turnaround, where the house is on fire? An alignment, where the whole organization feels a bit lost and needs to be refocused? Or are you tasked with sustaining success, taking something that's already great and finding that next gear? Figuring out which one of these you're in is absolutely critical.
I love this slide because it just makes the consequences so clear. If you're in a turnaround, it's a ready, fire, aim situation. You have to act fast, you have to be decisive, even if you don't have all the information, and then you adjust on the fly. But if you're in a realignment, it's ready, aim, fire. You have more time, and you've got to use that time to build consensus and make absolutely sure your first shots are perfectly on target. Using the wrong approach for your situation is a classic path to failure.
So, you've promoted yourself mentally, you're learning like a strategist, and you've diagnosed your situation. Now it's time to build that all-important momentum by securing some early wins. But here's the catch. Just like your strategy, what counts as a win totally depends on your star situation. A win isn't always some big, flashy project. In a startup, just getting the right people on the bus is a massive win. In a turnaround, it's making those tough but necessary calls to save the core of the business. In a realignment, a win might be as simple as getting the team to finally agree that yes, there is a problem we need to fix. And in a sustaining success role, your first win is just proving you respect a legacy and you're not here to break what's already working.
And this, right here, is the ultimate goal of your first 90 days. It's all about creating this virtuous cycle. You see, securing the right early wins builds your credibility. That credibility then allows you to build momentum. And that momentum makes it easier to get your next win, which of course builds even more credibility. This is how you escape that vicious cycle of early failure and launch yourself into an upward spiral of success.
So, the most crucial thing to take away from all of this is that navigating a new leadership role isn't about luck or some kind of innate genius. It is not about just surviving until you feel comfortable. Transitioning is a teachable, repeatable skill. By using a deliberate roadmap just like this one, you can dramatically shorten your path to that break-even point and set yourself up for massive long-term success. So the final question is, are you prepared to learn it?